Hi everybody, welcome to episode 27, Team Valley MOT. This episode will be coming to you, our first episode where we're part of the YouTube partnership program. So basically that means that you're monetized. The money won't really change anything for us, obviously anything that it costs us every week to make these videos anyway, so anything we do get back off YouTube, we'll just go back and hopefully making even better videos. I won't be here, I've been in all day today, but I won't be here tomorrow, but I will be taking a GoPro with us. I'm heading down to London, have a couple of meetings down there, and also got to drop off a crankshaft for a motorbike. Someone's going to basically split that crankshaft down, put new bearings in for us, but I'll hopefully show you more on that tomorrow. So, run around the workshop before I leave, because it's 5:15 at night. This Vauxhall Mariva, this has been in the car park for a little while, but it's just been basically dropped off, and then it's been waiting its slot to come in. So this is in for the battery drain, and also it's drained the battery overnight, and it's also not charging when driving. This big Sprinter here is in for a diag, so this is losing power up a hill, possibly turbo or MAF sensor issue. So we've also got this van here, is just ready for road test. So this van has just had a new turbo just from Garrett. So your turbo there, that turbo shaft there is actually seized. So that shaft runs there and runs through the back, and that flap there was also supposed to be attached to that rod. We got to it, that wasn't attached at all. So there's the other side of that shaft. So basically your exhaust gas goes in there, turns that impeller around, and the waste gas goes out here. That then basically goes to this side of the cold side. So that air goes in there, goes around this snail, goes into big boost out that side. But when that shaft seized there, obviously you get no boost, no power. So that's ready to go back to Garrett. This van here, this is the van that we had in for a snapped time belt, so it all got built back up running perfect. When we got the van, we basically recovered it, and it had no, so the parts that were missing when we recovered it were the crank sensor was missing, the bolt was out of the bottom pulley, and the bottom pulley was in the passenger seat. There was also a bit of damage to the, so that's the bottom pulley there. So you can see there's a chip out of that there, so that means that won't work. So that's basically where your time belt runs. That's keyed onto your crankshaft just there. So that was damaged, so now we've put it on, van starts great, but there's no rev counter working on the van. So because we've replaced this here, that's actually the sensor for the crank sensor signal. So we know this is good, be replaced with a genuine brand new part. We did think we'd found it when we found that crack there, but obviously not. We've put a new crank sensor on it, so we're going to rule that out. So now we'll have to use the oscilloscope and make sure that we're getting the proper signal and the proper voltages down there. And I'm assuming there's going to be a broken wire somewhere on the harness that goes from that crank sensor signal up towards the ECU. So this Mini is the one that we spoke about last week. So that cylinder head is still at the engine services in Gateshead. So they're going to do a little repair on that head and then skim it, get a tolerance. Now we've cleaned up the block a little bit better. Actually, the block looks decent. We're going to replace the head gasket on that, new timing chain kit. And also we'll change the pulleys normally at the same time. So you've got that's your VVT pulley there. So you can see that's just a little cog. Your timing chain runs on that. So we'll replace that at the same time. Paul's eventually made a little tiny bit of progress on the G-Wagon. So this car had no central locking. Sorry, actually did have central locking, just didn't have it on the key, on the button sort of thing. And obviously didn't have these mirrors. So Paul being Paul went out of his way. So now when you lock the car, Now we have electric folding mirrors. Obviously unlock the car and the mirror comes back out. That has took like so much wiring and effort just to get the mirrors going and out, but Paul's happy, I suppose. We'll quickly go over here, see how busy Jimmy is. Jimmy, busy?
Always busy.
Oh, Jimmy's always busy.
Always busy.
So Andy's been busy because so he's took the subframe and everything, and there's a transfer case, starter motor, there's a bracket off the front of the engine there, all the drive shafts, everything out. Andy's took all that out because the clutches failed. So we're just waiting on the parts for that. These are on back order at Land Rover at the minute. So hopefully the part will come in tomorrow. So then Andy will take off that clutch plate and replace it with a new one. And there's also in here, these are a big old gearbox these to be lifting out. So there's the concentric bearing. That is really noisy. So that's supposed to be lovely and smooth. So that bearing actually had a little leak and the clutch was slipping at the same time. So in the kit we've changed the concentric slave cylinder, put a new clutch and the plate on, and that should be going back together tomorrow. While I'm not here, Ed and Jim are going to do a little walk around the garage. Ed doesn't know that, but he does now, I've just told him. So I'll be in London, I'll get a little bit on the GoPro. But obviously I've got to drive as well, so I can't do all at the same time. So while I get a little bit of GoPro footage, Ed and Jim will come downstairs and they're going to walk you through with the guys what's happening here, because so we've got in a previous video, I think it was in maybe 3 or 4 episodes ago, but it's been basically booked in. It goes in our storage unit with our own cars, but now the day has come for the RS6 to come back. So that's getting the engine and gearbox removed is one piece sort of thing. That'll probably come out with all the subframe and everything. Once that's removed, we're going to take all the injectors out. We've got the 8 injectors there, they're on the shelf. So once that's done, obviously there'll be engine back in, all done. So that'll be ending up on this ramp. I'm not sure, to be honest with you, what this little Citroen's in for, but that looks like it's ready to go out, and Andy's going to take that on road test. So what we'll do is we'll get the RS6 ready in here tonight. I think we're probably going to take the Mustang tomorrow. I'm not too sure. That'll keep Greta happy, get the miles per gallon up. Like I say, Ed and Jim will come downstairs tomorrow while I'm in London. They'll walk you through what's going on with this RS6. Hopefully you'll see something quite tasty, that big engine and gearbox on the floor and then getting worked on. That's all I've got for you today. And I'll see you tomorrow on the GoPro, and you'll see Ed and Jim downstairs. Thanks very much for watching. See you soon.
Hi everyone, it's Tuesday, 31st Jan in the afternoon. Welcome to Team Valley Service and MOT. It's usually Marvin who will introduce you to all the events going on inside the garage, but he's in London today. We've got a beautiful RS6 in the garage. There's exhaust parts on the floor, prop shaft on the floor, so there's an interesting case. There's a grill right beside Ed. So we're going to let you see what the situation is. So we'll ask Garry, what is the situation with the car? Why is the customer brought in? What sort of problems are they having? And what's going on to try and resolve it, or to resolve it?
So this is with it at the minute because it's got a misfire on several cylinders. And the problem with these is that I don't know if you can see there, Ed, but the injectors are actually underneath here. So to get the injectors, believe it or not, the engine's got to come out. So what we're doing is we'll drop the engine, the gearbox, the power plant on the floor. But to do that, you need yourself a little bit of room. So what we'll do is, so as you can see, the prop shaft's off, drivetrain's disconnected underneath. The front of the car will come off and come forward, and then we'll have the access to the engine and gearbox. Obviously, there's the plumbing and all that works. There's a lot that's still more to come off. Yeah. Engine harness, that's all got to be disconnected, etc.
Looks like a massive engine.
They are. I mean, so these here are 560 horsepower, twin turbo, great bit of kit, absolutely flying machine. The only problem is, well, not that there's a problem, but they are very, very well packaged. But that brings its own problems, you know, due to the packaging.
Yeah.
Some of the things are difficult to get out because, as I say, like I say, the injectors under here, you can actually remove them but they hit the chassis rails, so
I can see that.
you
yeah.
know the engine's got to be lowered down. We'll get the car up, engine will be in situ if you like, and then we can work on it underneath the manifolds. But big job, yeah.
Roughly, how long would it expect to be in for if everything goes okay?
This job itself, Audi gives you somewhere in the region of about 24 to 26 hours to do.
Okay.
So, you know, in reality, that's about 4 days worth of work, and
Yeah.
it really does take that long. I mean, we've been on with this since 9 o'clock this morning, and this is as far as we've got.
Yeah.
Engine will be out tomorrow, and then put the new injectors in. We've got 8 injectors to go into it, because what the customer's asked as well is that it's got probably 2 injectors off at the moment.
Okay.
But obviously what we don't want to do is we're putting 2 in, then another couple of months down the road it needs another 2, and then we're doing the same again. So the prudent thing at the minute is to put all the in it. That's what I get.
To be honest, if it was mine, that's exactly what I'd want.
It is.
I
it
just
is,
want
you know,
the job
it's-
sorting, wouldn't
yeah,
you? 'Cause
it's alright spending people's money, but you know, in reality, it actually saves money. You know, it really does. Yeah.
it's a fantastic car.
You're absolutely brilliant. But yeah. Nice for the kit.
Okay, hope you've enjoyed that bit of information from Garry. As you can see, it's an absolutely massive engine. There's a lot of work to do to it. But these guys are very experienced. They've got used to working on Aston Martins, Bentleys, Audis, BMWs, you name it. You see them all coming into these workshops. And hopefully you'll get to see the end result when it's all sorted. Okay, that's all. Thanks for today.
Right, Wednesday, and it is 20 to 5, so it's nice and quiet in the workshop. First thing we're on with is, as you can see, obviously the RS6 engine's out now. Got a little bit of footage yesterday when I was in London. Garry and Jim, they did a good job of talking you through what's going on with this. So basically, had to drop the engine out because your injectors are in here. So you've got your injectors sitting in these 4 ports, and you've also got the same on the other side. So you can't really see in here, but inside this port, the valves are all gummed up with carbon. So then you'll end up losing compression on those cylinders, and that'll also cause you a misfire. So what I'm going to do is use this walnut blaster. So this is the approved practice from VAG and cars with GDI injectors. So basically, this part here is a hoover, this part here is a walnut blaster. So that'll basically go, not like that, that'll go in there, that'll go in that cylinder. You basically move that round, pull the trigger, and that'll blast the media through here and get rid of all the carbon off the back of the injectors, hopefully. We might get a picture of before and after if we can. So it's the same on this side. This side's all stripped down. That's out of one of the inlets here, and even that is still full of horrible carbon. So we'll get rid of all that, make sure all the inlets is all clean. We'll clean up the inlet manifold, put it back together. That's the old injectors there. So you can see even the end of those injectors are all clogged up. They actually only had a misfire on 1 cylinder, but I imagine these were also on the way out. We wouldn't take that engine out just to put 1 injector in. You know, if it was just on top of the engine and you needed 1, possibly put 1 injector in, but I certainly wouldn't be taking this out of the engine and gearbox, everything, just to put 1 injector in. Over here, so that's literally, this bay is obviously ruined at the same time because this is all the parts off the RS6. That's everything that's had to come off. So you've got your bumper, rad packs, all the coolers, exhaust system, prop, crash bars, inner arches, everything is out to get them on them trolleys there. Those trolleys there, if you have got a garage, amazing idea, and it's a good thing to have. Holds up to 500 kilos each. Really handy if you take an engine and gearbox out all the time to use that. So there's the, just before we go, that clutch's got nothing to do with this car, but this is the inlet manifolds here. So there's the new injectors are in the fuel rail, and then I've also got the same on this side. So they are pretty clean in there. They've all been cleaned out. Got new seals on. All your space and your retaining rings are all in. So we've got 8 new injectors. We've got 8 spark plugs and 8 coil packs going in. just while it's in bits. Customer wants the car to be perfect, so let's get it all done while the engine's out. Got your two headlights there, they're obviously off the same car. We're going to go this way. We're still waiting on to hear back for the cylinder head for the little Mini. I'm not sure if that's beyond repair or not. This car's in for a battery and an alternator, but we can't get the alternator till tomorrow. Battery's fitted, but that was discharged to nothing, so put new battery on. Alternator's not charged neither, so the guys have narrowed that down to that. This Q5 is in for rotor cover gasket, so same again, we're going to put both of them on, just replace the pair. I know it's going to be hassle free. We'll have a quick look around here on this ambulance before we get into the rally car that's in the middle. So those are the calipers here. These are the old calipers off the 420 diesel. So basically they've wore away in there, and the pads are rattling around in there. So we've got rid of them, and put new ones on. Rally car's nearly finished now. It's all back together. All the panels on, inner arches, trim's all back in perfect. It's all been colour changed. Obviously this is the car that was red last week or the week before. Now it's blue. All the doors have been built back up again. Everything was painted, so inside the doors, in the checks, everything. Inside the car still stayed silver. Ian's just fighting with the windscreen.
You're right there, mate.
Going alright?
Yeah, them things are different. We're off a standard Fiesta, aren't we? All the holes are in different places.
Not quite what we seem. But you can see the car's pretty much back together now once the number plate's putting on. A couple extra bits of fixings in the bumpers there, so they all get fixed through here. Apart from that, I reckon the car's probably got another 3 hours. That car will be all finished. If you're in the northeast and you need a windscreen, ring that number. Hopefully that car will be going back in that trailer tonight, and that should be pretty much done. It's going to go back to the body shop. We're going to basically flatten, polish it, get the car perfect before it gets picked up on Thursday or Friday. And to be honest with you, that's all I've got for you today. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night. Right, welcome to Thursday night. It is 6:10, and everybody's still fairly busy who's at work. The rally car is getting picked up tonight at 8 o'clock, so we've got about an hour and 45 minutes. All it needs done now is literally just washed down, cleaned inside and out. That door gap's not amazing, and there's a couple of little bits of grease on the paintwork. Get it all cleaned down, get it minted up, ready for Roscoe to pick that up. Just wants the number plates putting on as well. So this is pretty much all done now. Back together obviously. It was originally red, now it's down to into Iveco blue. It'll go away, get the graphics put on, and it'll look awesome. I'll get you a photo of that once that's all done. So today, not much work being done this day apart from we've done the walnut blasting on the inlet manifolds. So you might not be able to see in there, but they're all being cleaned out. What I'll do is I'll put a picture on of before and after on the screen. That'll come on there now, just so you can see what the difference is before and after. You can see why these vehicles lose power when they start getting of age, because all that carbon builds up in the back of them inlet valves. Obviously restricts the air going in, which restricts boost, all that sort of stuff. So this side around here, this is all getting built back up now. So this is the inlet manifold, that's all built up. So you can see that branches around from here, from the turbos that are in the middle, comes around into here, into the port, and that's the injectors under there. That's the job that we've initially been doing. This side's all back together, just wants a couple little bolts, a little vacuum pipe put on there. Hopefully this will be going back together on, this should go back in the hole on Saturday, then we should finish it off Monday, Tuesday next week. This big camper van here, this is in for not charging. This is the second, this is the third alternator of the day. So we had the Q3 which got stripped yesterday, last night, that got finished this morning when the parts come in. This one's also not charging. Paul's checked all the wire on that, it's perfect. Literally just dodgy alternator, it happens. This car here with the number plate looks like a Slug. So the Slug needs a bracket on the exhaust and a thermostat. And also see, just by looking at it, I don't think that inlet pump there is supposed to be like that. So we'll get that sorted. That'll be bringing up a couple of air cords, I'm assuming, because all that hose is split in the rack back there. Paul's got this place like a pigsty. And then over here, I've literally just finished this off. I've just fit the alternator, new alternator and new auxiliary belt to this Peugeot here. So this was brought in yesterday. There's the old alternator. There's actually nothing to see that's wrong with it. It's just stopped charging altogether. Belt wasn't too bad, but obviously it's bad practice, I would say, to put an old belt back on. So you can see there now, it wasn't too bad of a job really. You just had a bolt at the top there, bolt at the bottom. There's a little one around the back, and then a sneaky little clamp goes right underneath there and clamps the bottom of the alternator, and even. But as alternators go, it doesn't get much easier than that. New auxiliary belt on, we've checked the charging. Charging's perfect. I'll just double check, make sure that is still charging right. So stick the multimeter on, put that on there. Yep, so we're charging at 14.4 volts. Just nearly creeping up to 14.5 volts, perfect. Hello James. Hello James. James was just trying to escape there by just whispering sweet nothings.
But obviously there's no chance of doing that.
There's no chance of getting rid of me. What's happening, Jimbo? Busy day?
Almost finished editing those images from London yesterday. So
Splendid. Jimbo was in London yesterday and I was in London on Tuesday. We love London.
We do. That's for sure.
Just love the graft. That's what we're built for.
Built for graft.
Anyway, this one here is done. Jimbo's going home and hopefully so will we later on. The head is back for the mini. Cylinder head is back. So, I don't know whether that torch will have anything in it, no. So, this is the cylinder head. This is the original one that had the fault in it. So it's all been skimmed, sitting perfect now. And there's actually where there was basically a hole in between these two cylinders. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's been welded up there in between the two cylinders. Obviously they would have left that proud, and when the machines went over the top and skimmed it, it's decked that to the perfect height. There's new cylinder head bolts, and there should be the new cylinder head gasket there. So obviously you can see that there's no broken bridges between them, but there is one on your original there. So that was the original fault. We spoke about that before. So what's happened is that gasket's give way, and that started chuffing past from cylinder to cylinder, from 3 to 4, and it's then cut a hole in the aluminium cylinder head. At the minute, them cylinder heads are on back order. Couldn't buy a brand new one, so we've had that repaired, skimmed, blocks good to go. So that'll get a new timing chain, cylinder head gasket, all new top end gaskets. Obviously get a service at the same time. I think the only thing left on this car is a battery, because it stood for so long. I think the lights were left on previous to come to us. So I'll get a new battery and that'll be all done. I'm going to take this beautiful motorway Peugeot for a test drive. I'll see you tomorrow. Can't wait to see you. Have a good night. Cheers. Right, it's Friday afternoon. We eventually got some footage that is not after work. First thing that we're on with today is this little Toyota hybrid. Customers complained of a knocking noise, and that was just because those joints in there have got too much play. So that's your drop link. That basically attaches on the back of the strut and the anti-roll bar there. So that was giving a little rattle. That's just been chopped off. New one is on the way, and we'll get one fitted. And then there's not a lot of progress on the RS6 today because Callum has been flat out on a couple of other jobs. We were waiting for an auxiliary belt. That's probably the smallest auxiliary belt I've ever seen. So it literally just goes around the crank pulley to the alternator. Everything else is driven sort of backwards off little shafts on the engine. So that'll go on, this inlet on, and then that should be ready to go in. Callum's going to work tomorrow. We don't normally open Saturdays, but he's going to come in and we're going to get this in, hopefully together. We've got the two boys here, look. What's happening on this?
Just doing a little bonnet catch work.
So this was in for a bonnet catch. It wasn't a bonnet catch. It was a we think maybe it was the cable sees something. We fixed it. Paul's just flying around there, can phantoming. What else does this have? Just a bonnet catch.
Bonnet catch and the lever inside, because that was snapped.
Bonnet catch and the handles obviously snapped off when they've been riving and tearing now. Because nobody cares, because it's not their van. That's the first time I've seen a new Peugeot 508. It's I'm not normally a Peugeot fan, but it's actually not a bad looking big saloon car. Pillarless doors, loads of options, nice looking car. This is actually in for extra security. Guys just bought it yesterday, had it delivered here this morning, and this is getting a can phantom fitted. Probably the best truck of the day, the big Dodge Ram. This is in for its 100,000 mile service, so it's getting oil filter in, air filter, spark plugs, and it's got 2 plugs per cylinder. This it's getting the transmission fluid and the filter with the air, which is actually the sunpan, transfer case fluid, carbon air filter, and inspects pretty much most of the car. On this occasion, which never happens, the customer supplied the parts because he got them from Dodge USA, so this is pretty much ready to go. It's got some funky engraving on the seats. This is the Longhorn edition. Yeehaw! It's actually a pretty cool looking truck. Plenty of gear in there. Callum's just finished. This has been on with this probably getting on for about 6 hours. So it's a bigger job than you think. Like I say, it's got 2 plugs per cylinder. We'll go and capture the man there, like. What's it like work on? Nightmare.
Aye.
Nightmare.
I spent most of the time in there.
He spent most of his time wedged under the bonnet. All good in the hood? Everything done? Lovely. Sound. Carl's just finished it off now. Everything's done. Just needs to adjust the handbrake and do the last couple of checks. I'll tell you this, for something that's just under 6 litre, that motor is absolutely silent. But it's not the best on fuel. The slugs just come back in there that got authorised this morning. This is getting the rotor cover gaskets done. So this was having a little leak out the rotor cover gaskets. This is all getting done now. It's all sorted. Come round, we'll have a quick look. Come on, Eddie B, come on. So this has just had the rotor cover gaskets done. It's pretty much all back together, I can see there now. Just a couple of little things to get clipped back in. We'll start it up, give it a leak check, make sure it's all good to go, and then test drive, engine cover back on, be all sorted. That's probably been 3 hours graft, I would say, for that. The Mini's untouched, G-Wagon's untouched. We've just had lots of in and out work today. We'll have a quick spy on what's going on in the car park. The recovery going here for the, this Astra. We've got another Parker Tires van. So this is in for the window switches and a couple other bits and bobs, oil leak. This will be coming in this afternoon if we get time. Ah, it's plenty of time, it's only 3 o'clock. This is a friend of ours, Golf GTI. I think this is what they call a Club Sport Edition. So you get extra bits of things inside, nicer trim. You get them cool looking wheels. They're a really cool looking wheel, them. We've got this little IQ, I think they're called, Toyota. That is in for alternator. That's got to be one of the 5th or 6th alternators we've done in the last week. I don't know whether it's the cold weather or what's killing them, but something is. That's pretty much all we've got to show you outside and inside. Just want to say thank you to everybody who's got us to, well, where we are, all the subscribers, people who are sharing, liking, subscribing, all that things. Remember, we're really close now to the 5,000 subscribers, so we'll be giving away £500 when we get there. We'll pick it at random, same as we did last time, and then when we get to 10,000, we will be giving away that little Fiat Panda, and we're also going to give away some cash at the same time. Decide that we'll give you the Panda and we'll chuck some cash in to get you on the road, so it might get you somewhere at your insurance or get a tax or whatever you need to do with it. So just thank you all the subscribers, thank you to Duo Media who make it happen all the time. That's Big Ed and Jimbo behind the camera there. Just if you can push this video as much as possible, get the subscribers up. Obviously the more subscribers, the more views we get. And also if you've got anything that you want us to do, just keep on firing them questions over. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks very much for watching this week's episode. See you next time. Cheers.